All right, hey guys, we'll expand a little bit here on that quick update I did here, just to dig in a little bit deeper here. So still under the premise here that we are working through a triangle here. Now this action here is very typical of a triangle. It's a little bit funky here with the way it's shaping, in that I think we have to go with an A. So if you look at the whole thing, can I squeeze this in here yet? So it's a little, the symmetry is getting stretched a little here. So A, B, and then there's the C. We're in a very complex D. Up for the E, and then there would be the potential would be there for that last drive down. So much of it all comes back to the idea that this did not resolve. So you know we've looked at this a couple times. I mean you can fudge it. But the larger shape of it, I mean, if you just look at the swing relationship, that's an ABC. All right, so it's very hard to, I mean, you're really pressing to try and get this into 5 to finish. So we just remain suspect of this low as the hard low. So that's kind of what sets up the whole idea here, because wouldn't it be convenient if we could just if we could finish the 3, 4, 5 down here? Well, it would have been, I don't know, well. Were that the case, this could be some sort of a big, very, well, you could have it. You could have a very long ABC because, well, essentially I'm suggesting the ABC into a D wave. Shit, sorry guys. Into a D wave here. This is me moving this thing around too much. I think I just don't have enough data here to show it to you. So were we done down here? Well, could be. I suppose you could make the case for a 1 and a deep 2. I think that is less likely given the count on the larger degrees. But this remains the point of caution. Now we invalidate here. If we take out this low, we don't have a triangle anymore. We come down here. Now we could double bottom, but if we break it, then we got a problem. Right, so then we can't call it a triangle. Now I've gone through this, and we've been through, you know, of course, a number of times. So I'm gonna just hear all the 5s, right? All the 5s pointing down. Now, so last question here is this another 5 heading down here? Right, 5 corrected by 3, 5 corrected by 3, 5 corrected by 3, 5 corrected by 3. Why would we assume anything other than another 5? Sorry, almost over this bloody cold. All right, so if that's the 4, well, pardon me, you know, where do you draw from here? So if this is the 3 and we're starting the 4 here, right? You know that, right? How will an algo look at it? Is your 4 over here? Well, technically, yeah, but you know, an algo is going to use the highest pivot. So here potentially now we're working through this 4 to drive us down here. Now, if you get in there. So really, I guess the question now is where are we? Can we, as I just laid it out, can we call this? I guess I'll take these off here and make the point. Let's get these. Oh shit! Come here. Is this the next 5? Okay. Could this just be a very complex A, B, and we're going down for the C? Right, that would give us our D wave here as long as we stay above this. So that this is still a couple of different ways you could count this. Right? We haven't lost the potential for the WXYXZ in here, but I think this is, when in doubt, if you can simplify without breaking Elliott rule set, I think that's the preferred approach. So if this is an ABC coming down here, it's all set up there for this to complete. Now, you'd be completing an ending diagonal, and it's very tight. It just barely qualifies. Right? So let me pull this off here. So we'd be finishing from the B wave here. So this 5 solid, ABC here into this B, that's solid. So if I look at this, there is a count here that works. So we could go 1 into an ABC into a 2. Now here's where we get this perfect zigzag. So we get 5, 3, 5. So that potentially now gives us our 3. We'd have a 4 here. It's very shallow for a diagonal, but that would set us up to come down here and finish the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the diagonal. Now, I had to rework this a little bit, and this was a count we'd considered earlier. I think still is a contender. We need a 3 here. So we can get the 3, 4 here with this little triangle. We can get that. Let me go to a 30 here. We see this a little better. So 1, 2, 3 triangle in the 4 down for the 5. That gives us the A. A, B, C into the B here. Now you gotta, it's a little bit of it's a little dicey coming down. I guess we can take that off here. And to get a C down here. But the reason I think we can stay with that is because of how it responds here. So if this is A, so we'd have, this is the ABC. So down for 5 into the A, here's the B, and then we're down for the C of the 1 wave. Okay, so if that plays as our 1, then we've got our A, B, C into our 2. So of course we're gonna just see how, are we technical here? All right, it's a little bit shy, but look what happens here. It's a little shy of the 50, so possibly a front run. Then they get their target, right? You know, it's a tick or two off of it. So I think that's still valid here, so that we can go 1, A, B, C into a 2. Then we get this absolutely pristine zigzag. So we get 5, 3, 5 to give us our third. Now, the extension would be in the 1. 1 is longer than 3. So I have this wicked off down here. This level here, this is 30, 52, 73. At that point, this count is invalidated as it would make 3 the shortest. So at that point, so if I take the length of the 3, project from the proposed 4, at that point we invalidate. Now take note, we would have already invalidated the triangle by breaking this, as that's the pivot. You guys can see it. That's the pivot back here for the B low. All right, so this pivot. So we break that, no triangle. Additionally, we don't have a diagonal, as that we'd be breaking down here. So if you look, and interestingly, we're just now sitting here revisiting this algo target. If we're going to break down, well, you know, where could we be going? Well, first you got a couple of issues in this diagonal. It's not issue, maybe the wrong word. It's just it's not the typical relationships you'd be looking for. So thus there are alternate counts here. But again, I think you can simplify here. So if we look at in a diagonal, more typically, we're going to take the start of the 1 through the pivot of the 3. Well, we don't even make the 23 here. So slight pause here on that. But note here, let me pull that off. And I guess we can get that off. If this is the 1 here, via this ABC to give us a 1 here. Well, look how tight this is. This is, I had to use the magnet here to get that locked in on that level. Right? It just barely breaks. Just enough to give us the diagonal. So if that works as the 4 there, then now we're looking here going, okay, where am I? All right, if I'm finishing a diagonal, well, I got a contender here for a 1, 2. So this being just a hair past it. Well, all right, so, you know, between the 50 and the 618, that's right where you're looking for a 2. So it's hard not to like that as a 2. Now, this is not very far here for a 3. I don't even think we're 100%. No, we're not. We're not 100% the length of the 1. So if I look here, oh, yes, we did. We just barely got it. So we have a contender for the 3. 4. Now, if this were to be shallow as a 5, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And that would set us up for the finish down here. It's probably worth wicking this proposed 3 low down here as well. So we've not broken that yet. So if we're coming into the 4 and that's 1, 2, maybe 3. 3 may not be done yet here, because how do you know, what are you doing with that? Just a straight pump drive down. So you'd have to dig the 1, 2 out of that, 3, 4, 5 to give us the 3 if that 3 is in. Little soon to lean too heavily into that 3 being in, because this is just spiky, choppy, you know, not great trading conditions. So so you play it out and you think, okay, well, if I were going to get a traditional 3 here, right, and we may not, as we're in a diagonal. And we're going down here, we bring up the 5 here, maybe the 4 here. How would that look? Can we get a fresh low down here? Well, we got to pay attention to those invalidation points. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. It could work. It could work. That would give us the C. Well, it would be this way. So that would give us the 5 of the C of the D. Now let's pull back out here. Let's go back to that hourly. Make sure that works. Yeah, so that would give, so we'd be potentially finishing down here. So this would sustain. We'd still have this. Now E, I'm just dragging this along with it so that we stay relative to the length of time. E, putting in the 4 down here. And 2, 3, 4, 5, it plays. And I think that this simplifying here makes sense given how much chop and slop is in here. So I think we got to wait and watch. So is there a trade there? Not as far as I'm concerned. Why? What are you trading off of? Right, every 5. So unless you're looking, unless you're looking to try and short it, I don't know what you have to lean into there to try and come up with the idea. So you can try and trade the 3 into the 4. Is that worth the risk? I'd suggest not. But if we do get a good pivot down here, well, we're going to need something corrective here for the E. So maybe there's opportunity there if you catch a good move off of, we get a motive here. If you get a decent motive off of this, if or all remains to be seen, and then we get a decent retracement, you want to get on the long side, that's playable. Of course, we want to be looking for any algo participation if we can. Now, we don't know where the low is, but just hypothetically, if we're going to use this, well, there's the negative 100 as a target down here, that would be interesting. So set us up to go up, challenge the golden zone. Nothing says we have to go there. And of course, we'd also have this back here, so it could just be that it's on the 50. We won't know. So that would be the complete correction. That actually would be one to pay attention to. So that would be if the ABC completes. Now, again, I don't have this low. But if the ABC completes down here, well, let's just out of curiosity. There's some median lines here. Now, we'd probably have to go to a modifier, which means channel. So let's try the shift. It's not bad. Modified shift is just a channel. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's not bad here. So it's not great enough really either one. That you might catch the corner of it. It looks like this has been a little bit more responsive. Neither one is absolutely perfect, but this potentially here serving as a trend line. That could be what's in play, but I think we can just sort of wait here and watch. So again, I do not see any reason to be a buyer down here. So what do you do about that? All right, now we're all trying to be patient, waiting for some signs of life here in Bitcoin. It's not there yet, about as best as I can say it. It's just not there. So as I've been kind of harping on, yeah, there are some coins that are moving. There are some coins that are in uptrends, not many of them. And if you're trading them against Bitcoin, if Bitcoin's going to stay weak, maybe there's some opportunity there. I think all of crypto right now is, well, that's not where I'm allocating my capital. I'll put it that way. Not that I certainly maintain my crypto, but I'm not adding anywhere. How about I say it that way? All right, until I see better trading conditions, I think the capital is better allocated to other markets, other asset classes. How about I say it like that? And we're going to do a very detailed series of training videos on Forex trading and literally walking you through how to do it. So you can stand by for that. That's coming. It may take me over a weekend to get it all compiled, but it's coming very soon. I think at the latest it would all be wrapped up by the end of the weekend. So again, I don't see any reason to push a trade here. And by push a trade, it's not me pushing a trade on you. I just mean no reason to be looking even yet. Why? What are you going off of? You gonna try and trade into the E? All right, maybe. You're certainly going counter trend, right? So there's potentially, there's going to be just a shitload of stops that could be triggers on the way to get us to the E. No shortage. Every one of these pivots will be just stops all sitting on the other side of them. So there's fuel there if it starts to go, but right now I see no signs of it. But listen, tomorrow we could come in and we're right up there. Would love to see it. Just not yet. All right, guys, I got one more. We're coming back. I guess you want to look at XLM Bitcoin. So back for that in a minute.